question I have is it driven towards maybe funding someone within the group or funding something that maybe someone within the group is having or pushing?
That's a very good question, and I think I missed that, because funding someone within the group, that is exactly what is funding somebody's. That is what so Easy Equity or JSC are doing. They elect abantu abaningi who are listed and then they fund them. How now hold lapho you only have shares. With this one, if imali yakho, it's gonna be into kanje. It's okay. What are we buying and whatever we are okay. Kona into to ngiyakhohlwa igama. I don't know if you guys know a guy named Ayanda Jafta. They do purchase order funding. But now they crowdfund the purchase orders. Purchase orders is you've given some contracts by Maspala. You need to build a road, you need 5 million. You don't have a capital. You go to them, they fund your purchase order. They do all the security checks, right? They fund your purchase order, I think at 6%. When that money comes back, now the money is split to about. So Lana is we don't actually fine for case where we fund and we say by funding, now it's what happens is you fund a band, they make a profit, babu sell it back, and then ubenale share ngani kulokho if uphakazi kwi system remember where this is going amandi banokosha kuzothi kuno halal food where abantu bohlanga ukuthi they know if they see that's halal it's theirs. So uyabantu exchange is going la uzofunda a lot of my establishments, and if we born now uphakathi we community, you know what that's money back on your pocket. That's the beauty of it. As little as possible. 100 rand. We are born at, look at this, let's say no 78 rand broke, because that's often when your mind comes back. If we are counting the 78 rand, you're like, what can I do? You can either buy airtime, or we find Easy Equity, or we are about to exchange. And if we find there's many things there is about corner, there is even the option where into siyenzayo khona into enkulu imali ethe circulator kuyona, it's in fact angiboleka 1,000, and we always do leyo nto. There's no vetting, but if vetting is I know you, right? This platform will allow you to see if umuntu efuna imali uzomnika to platform, they will pay you with interest. The platform in a share nayo, which you also benefit because we part of the community now, and then you get a direct benefit. Or you can say nginiga ubafo because wenza something, but those invites ayizukuba between wena nobafo. The platform would say, hey guys, now Spambani is putting into kanje. But mainly it's gonna be more purchase order funding, something that's not guarantee. It's crowdfunding, also fund my purchase order, but abantu aba within.
So it's gonna be like blockchain.
In a sense, because it's gonna be. Blockchain is an open ledger where a good example of blockchain, if you have FNP manje, there's a lot of monies that go in and out, but you can't see those. You can only see your account. With blockchain, any money that is touched blockchain, you can get the address, regardless whether we own or not. So that is a blockchain. It's open ledger. So Lana, it's not gonna be blockchain because you're gonna see isn't they affect our way.
Akuja mali ya we
So if a project is funded, for example, right, you will have fractional ownership.
Yes, correct.
With the money that they raise. Can you explain to them what fractional ownership is? Just explain to the guy
so there's various options. Okay, at the end of the day, a project is maybe you bring. There's a guy who's a very good case law. There's no quad.
Yeah, sure.
That for me that is a perfect case. That guy he spoke of Amacosta and everything. We all know if that guy can get in Dawo and buy a lot of stock, advertise it properly, that guy is somebody else. Impiliaki has changed. We have a power to change Impiliaki MG. So this would be a good example. But now, what is the benefit? if the guy siyamfanda sizoba ne-partnership naye, we're not saying we're giving you imali engaka, you're gonna pay us with X amount of interest. We're saying now, since we're going maybe 40-60 with you, in every rand that you're doing profits, we're taking 40 cents, you're taking 60 cents. That money comes back to your pool, and then that's a split. But also on top, should siba ne agreement naye, when I come in, because I'm a member, my money is in that business, and that business, and that business, and you're using system. If I walk in, I should get something sort of like a presidential treatment, Yana, like a 2%, just something to say, hey, you're part of this, you're part of this. It's a thing I would say if I like to use an example with the new mall yasemhlanga. The biggest difference in their mall than any other malls is people feel they own a fraction of their mall.
Yeah.
They put their monies.
Yeah.
So they work with pride in their mall. If someone needs to go to Pizza Marisbeck or there, you're like, I'll go there because my money is in there.
I think to get more people to trust, what we should do is, for example, let's take Usenzo, one who's selling what? Senzo will tell us, this is my business, I want to expand. And I'll come in with my company, Ebenezer, I'll look at his financials, I'll look at his projections, and then I'll say, okay, Senzo telling us that he can produce profitability of 200% on his thing. This is how real it can be, and these are the risks. But what can happen, and then we take it a step further, we say, okay, the accounting function of Senzo, I will do it. Then what will happen is, at any given point, I can see what's happening in Senzo's business. Then I'm going to say, okay, guys, Senzo has been promising ABCD. I can see by the way the graph is looking, we're getting to a point where it's dangerous. So we need to liquidate our investment now before we get to a point where we can't get the return on our investment. I think that would make sense. Then I'm easier trusting because I can say, hey, a bit of the process I'm controlling. So I can trust because I've got enough hands in the basket for me to control, and then I know, okay, yeah, gentlemen, I know your money is involved, so yeah, we rather pull out while we can.
That is why I put a lot of emphasis on purchase order funding, because those ones, there is minimal risk. We know when you're getting the money, we know you will get the money, you just have to do the job. So, but when it comes to the actual running of business, it's gonna be something that we're gonna slowly move into it, and it's gonna be a trust-based thing. You're not gonna come in, pitch in, and say, "Hey, doing X, Y, Z," and you're like, we in. No, it's gonna be, yeah. That one is gonna be a slow process, but
I think with that one must get into it because there's a lot of industries where black people are involved, but because they don't understand the industry, they're not growing as they're supposed to be. We have all the resources in the group. We've got doctors, we've got lawyers, we've got everything. We've got the team in the group to be able to get in there and say, okay, let's look. Because at some point we need to start taking over economy. Yeah. And this is a good vehicle.
Yeah.
actually, on your point, the biggest thing in this thing is to weaponize the market. Because if we put up a black ShopRite and people put their money in it, you'll be stupid to go to ShopRite. Go here, because it's money back to your pocket.
But again, the reason I'm saying all of this, remember, as black people, we program not to trust each other. So that's why we've got to have all of these things in place to produce trust. Eventually we'll get to the point where just because Ushepet said it's going to work, I trust him. Why? Because I know it. But in the process, because our mindsets have been drilled to the point where, like right now, you're talking about money. There's only a few people asking you questions. Why? There's that thing that we have in us. You see now. Shepherd and them said this thing's not going to be about money. We are born a man. There's money involved. So if we put all of these measures, okay, we can have feasibility tests, we can have cash flow projections, we can have etc., market analysis, etc. Then we come to the guys with a proposal, because that's what Easy Equities will do to you. If Easy Equities has a new property, Easy Properties, they will tell you what's the internal rate of return, what's the projected income. They'll tell you all of these things. So now I'm making an investment with enough information available to me that says, I'm not going to trust RJ, I'm not going to trust Shepherd, I'm going to trust the process and the information. And the information is clear. I think if we work on that and bring that all together, it will help us move a lot faster. Because now, we're not just trusting by word of mouth, there's substance. That's in my brother, sorry.